is Shelley Craft, and we're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Cambridge House Resource Conference in Palm Springs 2012. I have Brent Cook from Exploration Insight, a featured speaker, newsletter writer, and the man who quoted, "Turning rocks into money." Welcome to SNN Live again.
Glad to be here again.
Okay. Tell our audience what you are speaking about at this conference.
What I'm going on about this time is I think it's really important to understand that we've reached a really unique period in time where we cannot physically find and develop enough mines to keep up with what we're producing and using. The major mining companies are producing so much now that we just can't replace it. And that's really important to people in the junior resource sector, and that the few deposits, and the very, very few deposits, there's not many, that are actually big and economic are going to be extremely valuable. And if you own those stocks, you're going to make a lot of money.
Well, you're kind of giving a state of the industry right now. So what will happen if there's not enough deposits and if there's not enough exploration going on and we don't have an endless supply like people think? What do you recommend?
Well, it's going to bring the metal. To me, that's underlying. That's the base to the metal prices, which is real important. It doesn't necessarily. This is different. It doesn't necessarily have to be a China story or India story. It's a global story, and we just reached a point in time where, because it does take so much time to find a deposit, to drill it out, then to permit it, go through all the environmental processes, and then raising the money. I mean, these projects are costing billions of dollars. Money is tight, so it's just we can't keep up. And again, I go back to, so own the junior companies that have got something of value and own the major companies that are making money.
Sounds like a plan, Stan, as they say.
Pretty simple plan.
So how do you know which exploration companies to buy? Let's just cut to the chase.
Buy my newsletter. That's the one way. I mean, that's what I do, is follow the junior sector. And it's a tough sector. We're dealing with unknowns. We're dealing, as an explorationist, we're chasing anomalies basically, and Mother Nature's made billions of anomalies all over the world. Our job as explorationists is to find the very, very few, the 1 in 1,000 anomaly where the geochemistry, the alteration, the structure, everything came together at the right place and time and near enough to the surface in the right country, etc., to make an economic deposit. So to get that far, I really, really think you need advice. I mean, if you're a grocer or a banker, you don't know enough about geology to do it. You should get advice from a newsletter writer or your broker or your brother in the field, that sort of thing. I think that's really important because there's so many ways to lose money in this.
So does your story change when you pick a company? Do you monitor that company's behavior? Do you monitor their success or their failures? And in your newsletter, do you give investors updates on what's happened in something that you may have recommended before?
That's a good point. That's key, because we know that 95% of the companies that start up this slope, the price slope, are going to end up down to the bottom of it, because that's just a fact of nature. So it's really, really important to know to spot the fatal flaw ahead of the crowd, so you can get out, because more often than not there'll be a fatal flaw. So if we can spot that ahead of the crowd and we're still riding the price curve up, we can get out. But if you just buy a stock and sit and hold it, you're over time more likely to lose money in this junior sector. You've got to keep track of what exactly is going on.
How influential should the price of the junior exploration company stock be in making a decision as to whether or not you should A, buy it, B, hold it, C, sell it?
It's key. I mean, it's the same as would you go to a grocery store to buy a loaf of bread. If it's $25, you don't buy it. If it's $1, you'll buy it. All these things are the same thing. You're paying a market capitalization for a junior mining company of, call it $10 million versus $100 million. For $100 million, you better be getting something of real value. For $10 million, you don't need to have that much value. You just need to know what the potential is of what they're actually looking for, be it $1 billion discovery or a $100 million discovery versus what the market cap is, 10 million or 100 million.
You know, I'm going to make a statement that for anyone out there who's interested in investing in resource companies, especially junior exploration company, explorationinsights.com. That's your URL. So go to that website, and don't just read one. What do you have, a sample, and then you have to get involved?
There's a lot of information on there. There's a YouTube video of me evaluating a project in the Yukon. There's some free reports, and there's a lot of stuff on there. I try and educate people as well, not just to give stock recommendations, but recommend geology and that sort of thing. There's a little tab that has Geo Insights, which is I've extracted a number of geological discussions out of the newsletter, and that's for free as well.
Now, you were out of the country. Where were you? Where have you been recently?
Where was I? I was in December. I was in Indonesia. Last month I was in Canada. Monday, right after this show, I'm heading off to Tanzania. So yeah, I'm always on the road.
So you have, ladies and gentlemen, also I just want you to know, Brent Cook has a lot of frequent flyer miles as well. So for more information, where do they go? explorationinsights.com. You can always Google me at Brent Cook. That comes up as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent Cook, a writer of very important information in the Micro Cap Review magazine as well. Look for his article in the upcoming issue. A little plug for both of us.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that.
And featured speaker at Cambridge House. Thanks for coming on, Brent. It's always good to have you.
That was good.